A Richmond motel is robbed twice in 1 week. Coming up, you'll see surveillance footage from both of those robberies.
They lost their home to a fire yesterday, but a Lincoln County family says support from their community is giving them something to be thankful for.
A fight between the cats and the dogs in Rupp Arena tonight as #1 ranked UK took on the Boston University Terriers.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening to you. He says his business has been robbed twice in the last week, but tonight a Richmond motel owner hopes surveillance video will help police make an arrest.
He says when he confronted a robber at the Super 7 motel this afternoon, the man punched him. Monique Blair shows us the surveillance video in our top story at 11.
Richmond's Super 7 motel owner Paul Patel is frustrated. Patel tells me he was in a back room Tuesday when this person walked into the motel lobby, walked over to the kitchen area for a moment, then ran towards the front desk, jumped the counter, and quickly opened as many drawers as he could, stealing less than $75. Patel says he saw the suspect on the surveillance camera from the back room and at that time walked out a side door, meeting the perpetrator face to face.
I did not say anything. He just came outside. So then he just punched me once and then keep running.
Now the Super 7 motel was also robbed last Wednesday, and owner Paul Patel tells me he believes the same person is responsible for both robberies.
And no doubt, by looking at 100%, it was that same guy.
These are some still images from that robbery. Similar scenario, the suspect walked to the kitchen area and then jumped the counter at the front desk. That time he got away with more than $1,000. But Patel says he learned a lesson from that incident.
I'm not keeping no more money in the drawer.
Now Patel has just one piece of advice for whoever is responsible for these crimes.
They need to get a job and try to earn real money instead of doing this to the people.
In Richmond, Monique Blair, WKYT.
And Patel was not seriously injured when the robber punched him today.
New tonight, state police have arrested a Madison County woman they say injured 2 infants she was babysitting. Police charged 34-year-old Bessie Perkins with 2 counts of criminal abuse. State police say they started investigating after the infants' parents took them to a doctor to be treated for injuries they suffered. Police say Perkins injured the babies multiple times while they were in her care. We have new information tonight about a shooting in a Lexington neighborhood. Lexington police now say a man shot near Eastland Parkway this afternoon is in critical but stable condition at UK Hospital. They say they found the injured man near a vehicle behind the Parkway Center shops. So far, police have not made any arrest in the case.
A Lincoln County family lost nearly everything they owned when a fire destroyed their house. But a day later, the community has stepped up to help that family get back on their feet. As Sean Moody tells us, new at 11, donations have been pouring in.
It's been a tough couple of days.
This other corner was my room.
This is all that's left of Stephanie Paget's Lincoln County home. No one was there when the fire started Monday afternoon.
They called and told me I needed to get here because it was done gone. I had already went and bought all the kids' Christmas, so it's burnt up too.
In the hours after the fire, though, Stephanie's family learned they're not alone.
Within a few hours, we had bags full of clothes, toiletries for the kids. They were dressed for several days.
Brandy Hahn is the Stanford Elementary School principal. Stephanie's youngest son goes there.
I realized that he was on the bus and had no idea that his home was in flames. I just grabbed my keys and headed that direction. We were able to deliver enough clothes and some toiletries and things like that to get them through the night.
Sheer Designs in Stanford is accepting donations of clothing and toiletries. And the biggest news so far is that someone donated a trailer for the family to stay in for now.
Rent-free for a little while until they can get on their feet. The utilities have all been turned on through donation. The only problem we're having right now is the heat cannot be turned on for a couple of days. And so we were hoping that maybe we could figure out a way that we could get the heat turned on for them so that they could be in their home for the holidays.
Brandy says it shows what kind of community Stanford is.
There's lots of people pulling for them, and I think it's going to, we'll help them get out on the other side.
In Lincoln County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Pretty impressive, all that support. And if you'd like to help out, you can also donate money at PBK Bank in Stanford.
Tonight, Chicago police released dash cam video showing one of its officers shooting a teenager at least 16 times. The video has sparked protest in Chicago tonight. First, a warning, some of the video is disturbing. Marley Hall has the latest.
The video from the October 2014 incident shows 17-year-old Laquan McDonald jogging down the street, and then he slows down into a walk. Two officers approach. Prosecutors say Officer Jason Van Dyke started shooting 6 seconds after he got out of his vehicle. The silent video shows Van Dyke continued to shoot McDonald while the teen was on the ground. A few hundred protesters took to the streets shortly after the video was released. Some briefly scuffled with police and were led away in handcuffs.
I want to try to encourage people to be peaceful, and yet still our protests and what we're mad about.
People have a right to be angry. People have a right to protest. People have a right to free speech, but they do not have a right to commit criminal acts.
Prosecutors say Van Dyke fired 16 shots in 15 seconds, despite accounts that McDonald never threatened him. The 14-year veteran was charged with first-degree murder Tuesday.
People will judge the split-second actions of my client. However, the standard in this case is what was my client experiencing at the time in which he made this split-second decision to fire.
Prosecutors say McDonald was carrying a knife at the time of the shooting and that the drug PCP was in his system. Marley Hall, CBS News.
Chicago police say they were responding to reports of someone breaking into cars and stealing radios the night of the shooting.
Today, President Obama and French President Francois Hollande called on Russia to join the international effort against the Islamic State. The two leaders met today in Washington. France has intensified its airstrikes against the Islamic State in Syria following the terror attacks in Paris. President Obama said that Russia must change its mission in Syria to focus only on ISIS and not propping up the Syrian president.
Russia right now is a coalition of two. Iran and Russia supporting Assad.
President Hollande will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin tomorrow. Following the terror attacks in Paris, France, governors around the country have spoken out against President Obama's plan to resettle thousands of Syrian refugees here in the U.S. They're worried that terrorists could slip in among those refugees. Today, Kentucky Governor-elect Matt Bevin told CBS News more needs to be done to prevent that from happening.
Let's pause. Let's use a measured approach. That's all anybody's saying. If we are delusional to think that there are not evil people trying to do bad things to ourselves, then we're going to be delusional to our own detriment.
Syrian refugees already settled in the U.S. have said they went through years of interviews and background checks before being allowed to come to this country.
Many people will be hitting the road tomorrow to be with their families for Thanksgiving. And as Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey tells us, they should have some really good travel weather.
About as good as you can get this time of year for that busy travel day. And we're wrapping up a Tuesday that featured some chillier, but a seasonal chill out there. Nothing to really get too excited about. And yeah, we had a little bit of cloud cover creeping on in. Defender Radar Network tracking no precipitation, so we're just looking at the clouds. And we're going to continue to see some of those clouds that we'll work on across our skyline as we go through the overnight and again on Wednesday and into your Thursday. Even if skies do turn a little threatening, at least with the look, you're not going to be seeing any precipitation until we get into Friday. That is a milder wind that is blowing. That means good travel weather. We're looking at our AM commute forecast for tomorrow morning. Traffic system forecasting what the roads will look like at 8 o'clock in the morning around the Lexington area. As you can see, not a whole lot going on, barring any accidents, of course, at that time. But road construction kind of taking a little bit of a break over the holidays. 38 for the trip into work as we go into the noontime hour. Low 50s already showing up. It is a windy and a mild afternoon, 59 degrees during that time. But I come back in a few minutes. We know the holiday weekend starts out great, but I do have heavy rain that I'm tracking into the rest of that weekend forecast in a few.
Chris, thank you. The Cats put their new #1 ranking on the line tonight against Boston University.
And the Terriers kept it close for a while at Rupp Arena tonight. Brian Milam joins us now with highlights from tonight's game. Brian?
This past weekend, North Carolina was knocked off, allowing the way for Kentucky to become the #1 team in America. But UK getting a test like North Carolina got. The Cats race out to a quick 8-0 lead. Scal Labissiere gets his paws on it, slams it home. Scal with 11 in the first half. Watch Tyler Eulis lull the defense to sleep, then flips the ball to the rim. Alex Poitras there for the lob. Cats by 5. Kentucky on a run late in the half. Tyler Eulis to Derek Willis. He misses, but he stays with it for the putback. UK up 40-33 at the half. Second 20 minutes, the Cats go to the high percentage shot. Scal behind the defense and plays a little power ball. BU in the zone. Terriers lose Marcus Lee on the defense, and he dunks it down. Wildcats go on to win by 20. 82-62. Alex Poitras with a double-double. The full highlights coming up in sports. Cats move to 5-0. Back to you.
Brian, thank you. And the Cats' next game is Friday against South Florida in Miami.
Tonight, students and teachers at a Laurel County high school are remembering a teenager killed in a crash.
Police say that 17-year-old Jacob Downey died this morning after his truck hit a utility truck on the Hal Rogers Parkway in London. They say he was heading to North Laurel High School at the time. The school's principal says that Downey's classmates are devastated.
He was just a student who showed up to school every day. He was a great student, well respected by his peers and teachers.
And police say at this point they are not sure what caused the crash, but they do not think that speed played a role.
Lexington police say they'll be increasing patrols around malls and shopping centers over Thanksgiving weekend. Many shoppers will be looking for bargains Thanksgiving night and on Black Friday. And police say they can be easy targets for thieves. Police say a few easy tips can keep you from becoming a victim.
I know it seems kind of simple, but leaving your car unlocked makes a very easy target for a criminal.
Police also say to keep packages and any valuables inside your car's trunk so thieves can't see them. For a full list of stores open on Thanksgiving, just go to WKYT.com.
And nearly a month after the Breeders' Cup at Keeneland, Lexington city leaders say they've had some time to look back on how that event affected and impacted the Bluegrass. They talked about it during the Bluegrass Sports Commission's Corporate Membership Speaker Series this afternoon at the Red Mile. City leaders consider the Breeders' Cup a huge success. They say it did not cause any traffic problems, as had been feared, and they say it brought a lot of money into the city's economy.
The Breeders' Cup represented $65 million, estimated $65 million in economic impact to Lexington. But beyond that, it gave us an international recognition. It illuminated Lexington to the world.
Lexington city leaders say they're committed to bringing the Breeders' Cup back to Keeneland.
Thanksgiving came a few days early for hundreds of people here in Lexington. The Nathaniel Mission served its annual Thanksgiving dinner tonight for the homeless and those living in poverty. Organizers say it's a team effort for the volunteers who helped make this dinner a success.
The meal has been supplied by churches in the community. One church was assigned a different item on the menu, and they really come through every year providing, making sure that this meal is special.
This is the 75th year for the Nathaniel Mission. The organization also helps the homeless receive regular meals, clothing, and medical exams. Multicultural and international students at the University of Kentucky experienced the American tradition of Thanksgiving tonight. UK hosted its 10th annual Multicultural Student Thanksgiving on campus. The event included traditional Thanksgiving foods.
These students and their families so enrich our community. They bring perspectives for our Kentuckians to learn about places all over the world.
UK leaders estimate more than 100 countries were represented at tonight's events.